good morning, hope you're all doing well, and met up with Bri again, and we've come down to the lakes to try and see if we could see what we could find today. And as you can see, if I spin you around here, look how flat this light is today, so it's proven to be quite difficult. So what we thought we would do is head down Borrowdale right to the far end and go and check out the mill that we checked out last year. And yeah, we got there to see workmen, about 3 vans and high-vis vests everywhere. So that was that. End of that today. So we're just going to have to wait it out, I think, and see if this light improves. I mean, it is changing slightly down the valley there.
It's getting brighter at the bottom there.
Yeah, different shade of grey.
Yeah. There's some blue coming through. There was forecast of fog.
Yeah.
Never happened. Frost never happened.
No, nothing at all. It was just low cloud. So if it continues like this, I don't know what we're going to do today, but we'll have to wait it out and see. Hopefully these kind of conditions can go the other way.
It could change, or we might be polishing. You know what we'll be polishing.
Yeah, there's my lens cloth. So yeah, we're just going to wait it out, I think, and then see what happens with the light. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. So as you can see, these conditions aren't really improving much today. We've come up to the top of Ashness Bridge, which is obviously an iconic location, but I don't want to photograph the bridge. We're actually heading upwards to try and shoot down and see if we can pick out any details or any light or potential light that are hitting the hillsides over the other side of the lake here on Derwent Water. But as you can see, this cloud is really low, and it's actually only this last sort of half hour actually started to lift just that little bit. So we're kind of fingers crossed that we're actually going to get something or some kind of light later on. But we're already up to dinner time now, and it's not showing much signs of getting any better at the minute. It's really, really flat, so it's quite a challenge to actually find anything. So we've been looking around some of these little rivers, some of these little gullies to see if there's anything there worth shooting. But honestly, up to now, there's not a great deal. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to head further up and see what we find up there. So you can see we've headed back up to this location that I've been to a few times now. And I really love it up here, especially in conditions like this where you're not getting a lot of light going on, because to gain that little bit of elevation so you can pick out long distance shots, maybe pop the long lens on and pick out shots across on the hills over there. If we get any light, I'll just spin you around a little. Over on the side there, just where Cat Bells is, you sometimes get light over there. And then further up the valley over there, if I just spin you around again, you can maybe just see up the top there where the jaws of Borrowdale are. You get nice light in amongst there as well. And it's just a case of picking out some of these long distance shots and making the most of the light that we really have. But yeah, it's not going to do anything wonderful today, I don't think, because this cloud keeps raising and then lowering back down. It seems to be sitting at this level consistently today, so I'm not holding out any great expectations, but just hoping that we get something, just something that we can at least get a shot. And then if we don't, I suppose it's a case of maybe coming back tomorrow and seeing what we get then. Well, good morning guys, hope you're all doing okay. So we've come back up to the top of the hill where we were yesterday, and we've actually got light today, which is a real bonus, because yesterday obviously it was sucked right in with a line of cloud right away along the back here. As you can see, if I spin you around down here where we were shooting down towards the bottom of Borrowdale Valley yesterday, we've actually got light, and there's a lot of low cloud, but this light is actually kicking off through there. So it's such a difference. What a difference that one day has made. And over here, just behind Cat Bells over here, you can see all the clouds spinning around the hills beyond. And I'm sure there's going to be a shot there as well. And yeah, I've got a donkey in the shot, look at that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this in. We're hopefully going to get a few shots with this light down at the end of Borrowdale Valley. We're going to stick this out a good while today, see what we can get up here, because obviously yesterday was a complete write-off, and it just goes to show definitely worth coming back to these areas time after time again until you get the right light. Right, so I'll just press record on here now. Right, so what you should see is this strip pano, and this is the same or very similar shot as I took only yesterday, and also the last time I was up at this location. Very similar shots, but as you can see today it's clouded back in again now, but just earlier, just before I recorded this bit to camera, we were getting some nice light coming down into the valley, into the jaws of Borrowdale in the far distance there. And I just set that up because it's I know this shot works, or at least it did last time, but it's just nice to see these shots in different lights. Yesterday obviously was a complete write-off. The cloud was so low we didn't even get anything worth photographing because there was no texture or detail to the cloud. It was just that white overcast sky, whereas at least this, we've got detail in the sky, and you can use those lights and darks to add a little bit of interest and dimension to the image anyway. And I think it really helps every now and then when the light comes up from behind you, it's casting nice light into that valley. So really simple image. I've got ISO 100, f16, and at the minute it's 1/4 of a second. I'm underexposing by just a tiny amount, just to make sure I don't blow any of those highlights out. Histogram's bang in the middle there, and yeah, simple shot. I'll put the shots up that I've just taken previous to this, but I'm just going to keep photographing and waiting for the light to change. Yeah, so we're still up on top of this hill at the minute, and we're still just trying to wait for the light. This has been really fantastic today to actually get bits of light coming through. You can see over on the hills there, just beyond, looking over past beyond Cat Bells, we're getting this beautiful cloud moving through and light coming through, and just picking out detail shots amongst that kind of photography I really, really enjoy. More and more these days with the longer lens on, and just picking out the light as it hits the hills in the distance there. Really appeals to me, this kind of shot. So we've been up here probably a couple hours already, and it's one of those locations that you can just hang around all day and just wait for this light to move through. And I think today, especially since yesterday was such a bad day of photography, it's nice to get these clouds moving through quite fast and the weather changing quite fast, because it's actually given us more opportunities to shoot today. So on this next shot, what you should see is, if I just line this up properly so I can show you what I'm looking at. There we go. So you can see I've got a square crop lined up with this, and that lower peak where the jaws of Borrowdale is down in the bottom is almost centered, but just slightly off to one side. And you'll see basically above that there's light coming in from the top there through the clouds, and it's reflecting off that right hand side of the hills off to the right there. So I think it works more than like the pano crop from before. It works well as a square crop because it just gives more of that sky, because it's quite moody and dramatic as well. Simple shot again. What I've done here though is, because of the wind that we're getting, I have altered my shutter speed. So I've gone down to f8. I'll just check that now. Yeah, I've gone to f9 actually, 2/50th of a second at 160 ISO, and I'm out at 200mm on the 100 to 200, just waiting for that light to come across and reflect off the hills there. But I think we'll be able to accentuate that a little bit more in post, but just making sure that I'm kind of probably 1 to 2 stops underexposed, because you can see those brighter areas in the frame, those 2 dots at the top there, they get really quite bright and basically can be overexposed if I don't control them too much. So yeah, simple shot, and here it is. So we've come back down to the van now because the weather's gone downhill, similar to yesterday. In fact, it's gone really, really flat and we've lost the light. We got some really good conditions this morning though, some fantastic shots that I really enjoyed. Good to meet up with Adrian and Brian again. We're actually going to head up into Scotland later in the week, so that'll be in a future video. Thanks very much for watching this week's video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video soon. Bye bye.